Welcome to Milan. We just arrived in Milan and we have only one night here. Can you actually enjoy Milan in only one night? I don't think so, telling you from our experience. Maybe it's because we arrived late and didn't have much time to do anything. Anyways, actually the city was completely covered in thick fog, which made me a little sad, but someone was positive even in this situation. We arrived in the evening, and even though it was super cold and covered in thick fog, we could tell right away the city was beautiful. We didn't really do any research before coming here, so we were quite surprised to see so many modern buildings everywhere. Usually when you think about Italian cities, you don't think about modern buildings. You mostly expect to see old historical classical architecture. So we were actually so surprised by how modern Milan felt. On the way to our Airbnb, we ran into this building. I honestly stood there in shock. If you studied design like I did, you have definitely seen this building with all the greens on the balconies on Pinterest. It was one of my biggest architectural inspiration back when I was studying at university, but I had absolutely no idea it was actually here in Milan. Seeing it in real life right away was such a crazy surprise for me. As we kept walking towards our Airbnb, we passed this really cool street market. It looked like a local Sunday market or something similar. Interesting to see that right by where we were staying. We finally got to our Airbnb, quickly dropped our stuff and went straight back out to see the famous Duomo. The area was completely packed with people, and walking through the crowd, my husband and I actually started arguing because we were just so mad at ourselves. We realized we completely fell in love with Milan's vibe, and we instantly regretted only booking it for one single night. We arrived at night and we were leaving next morning, so we barely had any time.
Milan. So you are like, what's in Milan? You can stay one night there. You are like this. No, I am 진짜. I am 진짜. Yeah, good.
Right next to Duomo, we walked into this famous gallery. It's basically Italy's oldest shopping mall. It is honestly so beautiful. The ceilings are so incredibly high and the structure is so massive. Looking up at that massive iron and glass roof makes you realize why they call this place Milan's living room. Milan is pretty expensive place, so we decided not to go to any restaurants since it was just one night there. We decided to just try some food from a supermarket instead. We went in and bought some fresh bread, croissants, salami, and some sweets, and that famous Italian pesto. We also got this soft cheese called Galbani Certosa. So we brought everything back to our Airbnb and just had our little supermarket dinner right there. And honestly, the food was so good. You don't even need to go to fancy restaurant when the simple things from a regular shop taste this amazing. And this cream cheese was so good that we were buying it in every Italian city we were. I really recommend it. This cheese and pesto on fresh bread is such a super combo. You should definitely try it.
Between yogurt and cheese.
Since we had only one night here, so next morning we woke up super early. We went out around 7 a.m. because we wanted to see the Duomo again, but this time in daylight. And when we came there, the square was almost empty. Usually there's so many tourists everywhere, but at that hour there was almost no one. We felt so lucky and we were just happy that we decided to wake up early. And we also took one of these famous historic vintage Milan trams to get around. The inside is all made of vintage wood and it just looks so cool. On the way, we stopped by this castle. It was nice to just walk around here. The area looked super interesting. It started raining when we came to this castle, and honestly, everywhere looked so beautiful in the rain, but it was also quite cold. Milan is definitely pretty chilly in November. The castle is just this massive red brick fortress and the architecture is so cool. It's from 15th century and it has these huge heavy towers on the outside, but when you walk in the courtyard, it has all these beautiful elegant arches and window details from the Renaissance. It's just so pretty, especially with the park right behind it. And on the way we walked through this park. The park itself was huge, and even though it was raining, it was still so nice. There were not much people out because of the weather, but we saw some people walking their dogs and playing with them there. It just had such a relaxed, nice vibe. We really wished we had more time in Milan, but we had to catch our bus. So next stop is Venice, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Now here. Look at this Calgary view. And it was winter, but they think it is fall.